Well, let's move to the war in Ukraine now, where there are allegations that the mercenary Wagner group is plotting subversive activities in the country. The group, whose leader was supposedly exiled to Belarus, are reportedly building a tent city around 15 miles from the Ukrainian border. Well, let's get more on this with the former commander of the Joint Forces Command, General Sir Richard Barron. Good to talk to you this morning. What do you make of this fact that this tent city is appearing to pop up? I mean, it's no surprise that Wagner is operating out of Belarus.
No, you're right. Wagner has moved to Belarus and it remains active in Africa. It's got some new leadership, and it does represent a very powerful instrument for the Russian government if it can be harnessed to the Russian government. So it may be coming back into favour, and if so, then the sort of subversive activity that's rumoured is entirely to be expected.
But we've also seen activity on the Polish-Belarusian border as well. I mean, is that sabre-rattling? Should Poland be concerned?
No, I don't think Poland is really concerned. We are beginning to see signs in all sorts of ways of people threatening to extend this war beyond the boundary of Ukraine. For example, the strikes by Ukraine on the Russia's Black Sea Fleet. But there really isn't any military capacity in Belarus that Poland is going to be worried about today.
When we look at what's actually happening inside Ukraine, the counteroffensive, the much vaunted counteroffensive that we talked about for much of the winter, is it failing, or is it actually having success, do you think?
So it's underway. It's not failed. It is clear that breaking through the formidably well-constructed Russian defences is hard and brutal and is going very slowly. So far, the counteroffensive in the south has made about 5 miles of progress. It's not yet got to even the first line of 3 Russian defence lines, and there's 60 miles to go to the sea. So it's not failed, but it is making very slow progress. And that's actually way better than launching a big Ukrainian force and just smashing it to bits on the front end of comprehensive Russian defences.
I mean, Ukraine would say, of course, that it wants more support from the West. The speed of this counteroffensive, then, you don't think the slow speed is a justification for them to ask for more help?
No, I absolutely think we are going to have to wrestle with the realisation that the counteroffensive in 2023 is going to make some progress, and Russia isn't going to take much more territory. It really doesn't appear to have the capacity. But what we're going to have to discuss now is what do we need to do in order to make Ukraine stronger and Russia weaker in order to succeed on the battlefield in 2024. And that means more air defence, more ammunition, more equipment, more training, and to build Ukraine an air force, and at the same time continuing to keep the pressure up on the front line over the winter, which will be hard, and to wear away the Russian positions in depth with missiles like the UK Storm Shadow. This is really all pointing to this war, if it continues, going on for a very long time.
Meanwhile, according to the Ministry of Defence, Putin is trying to equip his National Guard with heavy weaponry to strengthen the security of his regime. What do you think that would mean for the war?
So it might mean there's actually a little less equipment in Ukraine if the National Guard is getting heavy equipment in order to protect a fraying regime in Russia. And this really points to the big issue that we're focused on the battlefield, where progress is slow. But a big part of this war is eroding the Russian will to continue to fight. And that happens in Russia as much as it does anywhere in Ukraine.
While we have you on, General Sir Richard, we learned yesterday that the UK's Electoral Commission was hacked. There's also been a security leak of data in Northern Ireland revealing the names and locations of police officers. How concerning do you think both of these things are in a security point of view?
So I think these are quite different. The Northern Ireland leak was just a mistake on the back of a freedom of information, and it's a serious mistake, and people will regret it at leisure. And what that shows is things like the Data Protection Act and good cyber hygiene in any business or institution remain fundamentally important. That's how you remain safe and effective in the digital age. The hacking, and there have been obviously hacking every single day, means that every one of us, every citizen, every business, every enterprise has to maintain rigorous basic cyber hygiene standards, or they will get done over.
Reports this morning that the British intelligence service thinks that Russia are behind the attacks. Is that who you think it's most likely to be?
Well, we know the major cyber actors in the world today are Russia, and Russia aligns with a lot of really very effective organized criminal gangs that do cyber attacks proficiently. But there's also intelligent cyber attacks led by China, North Korea looking for money, and Iran looking to be mischievous and to steal information and money. So there are a number of actors in the world that mean the UK and its citizens and its institutions serious harm. And the state can't protect us all. We have to play our part in protecting ourselves.
General Sir Richard Barron, former commander of the Joint Forces Command. Good to talk to you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.